All right. It is Thursday morning. This is morning conversation. This is Harley. Harley is pretty much scared of everything. These blades of grass probably scare her. She's just scared of her own shadow. This was created. She's not born like this. Okay? So there might be some very, very small percentage of genetic predisposition, but not enough where owner can blame it on she was just born like that. So I am at the park here. I've got a 25-foot line on her, and I'm just going to try to get her to open up and bring her prey instinct closer to the surface. When a dog is in prey drive, they cannot be nervous. And the higher the drive is, the more confidence is being built, the more receptive they're going to be to learning, as long as you can channel it. But first things first, I just need to unwind her and get her to explore by herself. This is a classic case of first dog in the home was far from squared away, far from trained, far from good behavior, far from stable, actually. And we got a second dog for that dog, hoping that it would somehow magically, they would coalesce and teach each other and they would be great pals and better behaved. Don't ever do that. You're a lazy idiot for that kind of thinking. Quite frankly. You want another dog to teach a dog when your first dog's not even squared away. Just stop. Stop collecting dogs. Get your first dog in your home squared away first before you make an educated decision to bring a second dog in. I promise you it's not going to work. Don't get a second dog for your first dog. If your first dog has problems, the solution is not to get another dog. I don't know how many ways to say it. That is a terrible decision. And you end up with, so 2 dogs, first of all, 2 dogs is not double the work. 2 dogs is 4 times the work, especially if one of them, the first one's not squared away. Because here's the thing, the first one's not squared away primarily because you haven't put in the effort and the discipline to get them there. You created, especially if you got that first dog very young and you've had it for longer than you have not had it, you have influenced their behavior heavily. And so unless you learn something different and do something different, you're gonna get the same fucking result with a second dog. Hello? Why would it be different? You haven't changed. The things you do with the dogs and how you interact with the dogs haven't changed. So why would you end up with a different result? It's just gonna make things worse. So that's why it's not twice the work, it's at least 4 times the work. So most likely, if you're getting a second dog for your first dog and hoping that that's going to help, they're going to be friends and that's going to help the first one's behavior and all this malarkey. I just said malarkey. All that bullshit thinking. You're not even aware of the influence that you had on the first dog. Why do I say that? Because the people that get a dog for their first dog, thinking it's going to help their household, thinking it's going to help the issues, have little self-awareness, little self-awareness, little sense of what your responsibility is for a dog beyond you just want to cuddle them and pet them and they're cute. Very, very little knowledge of what a dog needs as a dog to feel complete, to feel wholeness, to feel fulfilled. Your dog does not need a couch and cuddles on the couch while you watch Housewives or the Olympics or football or whatever the hell you watch to feel complete. Yeah, they don't. News you can use, but you won't, because that makes you feel complete, because you have an emotional void that your dog is filling for you. So sitting on the couch while you watch Housewives or Bachelor or football or the Olympics fills your emotional void. That is not something your dog needs to fill their emotional voids, period. They just don't. And please send me an email. Please write something in the comments if you disagree with that. Please challenge me on that. The reason that you want to challenge me on that, the reason that you might disagree with that emotionally and you have a knee-jerk reaction, that's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. My dog needs that. The reason you have that reaction is because it's a potential attack on what's filling your emotional void. That's why you take it personally. That's why it doesn't feel good to hear that. And you want to defend what is giving you a source of pleasure. How about figure out why you have that emotional void and find a healthy way to patch it up, fill it, that does not involve your dog. Or if it involves your dog, give back to them too. You see, we all have emotional voids. How do I fill some of my emotional voids? By coming to the park and watching dogs walk around off leash or on a 20-foot line. Yeah. And that way they're getting what they need too. Let's go. So this is good. So we got dog playing fetch in the park. Let's go. Harley, come on. Good girl. So we can work on a little bit of drive switching. Good girl. Good girl. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. A little connection. Yeah, we all have emotional voids. I'm not saying your dog can't make you feel good, and you can't feel good with your dog at all. But when you're only getting and not giving, and moreover, you're not giving because you have no clue what a dog actually needs. You're giving them toys, and you're giving them dog beds, and you're giving them cuddles. They don't need any of that shit. What they need is this. Harley, let's go. Let's go. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. They need the ability to be out in nature, explore, smell, have some freedom. They need leadership. Not a weak person cuddling them on the couch because they're lonely or sad or stressed every day of your life, depressed, disappointed in yourself, victim mentality. Oh, I just can't. Everybody hates me. I'm overweight. I hate my job. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. That's what they don't need. That is not fulfilling. That is you getting what you need from the dog. What are you giving back? And then you expect your dog to listen. You expect your dog to behave. You expect your dog not to go potty in the house. You expect all these things. What the hell are you bringing to the table for your dog? They're bringing a ton to the table for you. What are you bringing to the table for them? As a dog, as a canine? Most people, not much. Not much. On what they actually need, not much. Harley, let's go. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Good job, mama. This is a good little session for her. I'm really happy with this right now. She's cautious, but not super low to the ground, afraid, being actively submissive. This is an example of when you immerse a dog in nature and bring out their prey drive, all of a sudden they start to become a little more confident. I'm not telling her it's okay. So she wants to go check out the water. That's good. Right now, she is expressing her prey instinct. A dog being curious is an expression of their prey instinct. She is wondering, is this something I can chase or bite or eat? Is this something that's going to bring me satisfaction and pleasure? Curiosity is prey instinct. Let's go, mama. Come on. So anyway, don't get a second dog for your first dog until your first dog is where you want them, till your first dog you're proud of, till your first dog listens to you, until you don't hear yourself complaining about your first dog's behavior. Don't get a second dog, please. I mean, do, because it keeps trainers in business, but don't do that. Don't do that to your first dog. Don't do that to the second dog. That second dog can't choose to come into a home that's already unbalanced. Your second dog can't choose to come into your home which is already out of whack. That's already emotionally unbalanced. That's already not in harmony. You're going to have a lot more enjoyment, a lot more success when you create harmony in your house first with your first dog, then bring a second dog in. Imagine how much easier it's going to be on everybody. It's going to be easier on your first dog too. Let's set that first dog up for success in bringing a new dog in. Let's set that new dog up for success in coming into the most hospitable, harmonious environment possible. I think that's something that a puppy or a dog deserves from us, is to come into a stable, peaceful, harmonious environment, not one of chaos, an environment where they're understood, an environment where we know that if they potty in the house, it's not them that should be punished, it's us. It's where if they chew something up that we didn't want them to chew up, we don't get mad at them. We look in the mirror and we understand that we did not supervise that dog. We gave too much freedom too soon, and that's on us. I think they deserve to come in an environment where that level of emotional control and self-awareness and understanding of dogs is already present, where we don't punish because they went potty in the house, where we don't yell at them and put their face in it because they pottied in the house, where we don't yell at them because they chewed up our favorite pair of Jordans. They chewed up the Jordans because they were unsupervised and bored and did something that dogs do, which is put things in their mouth and chew things, especially things that they see humans touching. Must be important. So they're connecting with you through that shoe, in a sense. Putting their mouth on that shoe because you put your hands on that shoe all the time. And it smells like you. So instead of getting mad, we can supervise the dog until they are truly, truly ready to be unsupervised. And we can pick our fucking shoes up. Right? Now let's say they chew a piece of our furniture. They chew our great-grandfather's grandfather clock. Yeah, control your emotions and don't get mad. That dog wasn't supervised. It was allowed to do it. It's not even bad that they did it. It's not bad or good. We don't like it, but it doesn't make it bad. We don't want them to do it, but it doesn't make it bad. They're doing what dogs do, which is chase things, bite things, chew on things. That's how they connect with the world around them. That's how they experience the world. That's how they learn about the world. It's by expression of that drive. And sometimes they express that drive on the wrong items, the items that we don't want them to, and we deem it destruction. But that's a dog that's unfulfilled. We need to play with them more. We need to focus less on teaching them sit and paw and more on playing with them, more on satisfying that drive in them so that they don't need to express it elsewhere. We don't need to punish them for it or be mad at them for it. That's only going to harm the relationship. That's only going to create discord and move us further away from harmony. When you get mad at your dog for destroying something in your house, or peeing or pooping on the floor, doing something that you call bad, and you get mad at them or frustrated or upset or whatever adjective you want to call it, whatever negative adjective you want to call it, that creates more discord, not harmony. It moves you further from harmony. But if you're not even aware of these things, you can't possibly even be in control of your emotions in those moments. What happens if one of my dogs chewed up my favorite pair of Jordans? Am I upset? Yes, at myself, not at my dog. Well, yep, I left it out. And my dogs don't chew things up. Partially because I satisfy their drives. I satisfy their instincts to chew, to bite, to chase. Through play, through exploration, as I'm doing with Harley right now. If all you're doing is cuddling your dog on the couch, and they stay home every day, they stay inside the house or in the backyard or on your property, that's a pretty boring fucking life. No wonder they're gonna get into stuff and want to chew on something. If you're not even playing with them for 15, 20 minutes a day at least, no wonder they're bored. No wonder they're gonna go looking for stuff to chew on. Let's go. No wonder. Let's go, Harley. Good girl. So I'm giving Harley just a little gentle guidance. Let's go. What's cool is she got a little bit tangled up in the leash there, and in the backyard, that sends her into a little bit of panic, a little distress, and she freaks out, squeals, flips around, just freezes, tries to escape. But there, she just handled it really, really uneventful. It's beautiful. Why? We're immersed in nature. I have immersed her in nature. I have created an opportunity for her to feel complete through experiencing and expressing her prey drive. Right now, she's in prey drive, sniffing, she's tracking. So we're almost at 20 minutes, and I try to keep these at 20 minutes. If you watched this long, thank you. Oh, sorry, girl. Let's go. What I've done with Harley here is what you can do with your dog, your scared dog, your reactive dog. Get a long line. This is like 25 feet. And all I've done really is just walk backwards the whole time and move away from her. Harley, come. Good girl. Good girl. Periodically I can stop if she goes into that. Harley, come. Let's go. Good girl. Good girl. I pet her underneath, and then I can move away again. So she's going that way. I'm going to go away from her. Let's go. Good girl. You can do this with your dog. This will start to teach your dog to follow you and listen and create relevancy. They get a little bit of freedom, and you say, let's go. And if they don't, well, all you're going to do is just keep on walking. That leash is going to do the follow-through work for you, like this. Let's go. Good girl. You see how that works? Simple, you guys. Training your dog is super simple when you have clarity. When you have self-awareness, the ability to understand and regulate your own emotions, dog training's Simple and easy. Dog training is always simple. It's difficult because you don't have self-awareness and you don't have the ability to control your emotions. And you don't understand or aren't trying to understand the perspective of the dog. You're only understanding your own perspective. So, for example, your own perspective is also that your dog is nice or kind. No, dog is neither nice nor mean. That is your perspective. That is coming from a human place. That is not you trying to understand your dog. Because a dog can't be nice. A dog can't be mean. They're not moral animals. Okay? If that doesn't make sense, unsubscribe, because and you go back to high school and read a damn book if that doesn't make sense, please. They're not moral. They don't see things in good and bad, nice and mean. They're not considering your perspective. So saying your dog is nice and kind and sweet even, that's your own projection. That's your own filter. That is, in a way, your ego as a human being, seeing what we want to see, projecting. It's not actually what the dog is. It's not actually what they're feeling at all. They can't. They can't consider another's perspective. In order to be nice, they'd have to be able to consider your perspective. They'd have to consider, what is it you would like? They'd have to consider, how does my behavior affect you? They cannot think like that. That is high level intellect that humans possess. We can consider, okay, how does my behavior affect my coworker? How does my behavior affect my significant other? How does my behavior affect my children? We can consider that. A dog cannot. So when your dog chews your shoes, they're not considering how that is going to make you feel. They can't. So why are you getting mad at them? When your dog takes a shit on the couch, they're not considering how that made you feel or how it's going to make you feel. They can't think into the future. Dogs live in the present moment. They can't think 1 second into the future. And they aren't considering how their behaviors are gonna impact you. Not one bit. So give them a break. Don't get mad at them. Understand why, learn what to do to prevent it, and understand why it happened to begin with. But don't get mad at them. If anything, get mad at yourself. And that's it. That's morning conversation. Unedited, unfiltered, unapologetic. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't like it, there's something to be learned there. There's something to be learned there. If you didn't like what I had to say, there's something to be learned. And that's for you to examine. If I tripped a nerve, hurt your little feelings, there's something to be learned there. That is a clear indicator. That's where you examine. That's where you look in the mirror and ask, why did that bother me so much? But only 1% of people in this world are going to actually do that. So there's her panic with the leash. Harley, let's go. So I'm going to help her solve it. I'm moving away still. Let's go. Good. Good girl. Yes. Her problem solved by coming to me, not panicking, not going back to her. That was a huge win. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Good job, Mama. Good girl. Come on. Yes. I love that for her. Oh, I'm celebrating the crap out of that. Good girl. Yes. Huge breakthrough. Boom. Awesome. I love it. We don't go back to the dog when they're doing that. Call them to you. Their problem, be their solution. Their solution is coming to you. Recall. That's awesome. Good girl. Good girl.